We still have one session to go before lunch break. To those of you who are interested, let me remind you that in parallel to this session, we have another two sessions now. One in Beersheba with some 600 high school kids taking cybersecurity as a subject for matriculation examinations, and one in Yaglon auditorium, what we call the academic track, which is more for professionals. One of those professionals who should be here, because he's the next speaker, is Bob Kalka, who is Vice President of IBM Security Business Unit, with an experience of some almost 25 years in cyber or information security, as it was used to be called. Bob, please.
Good morning. So it is beautiful to be in this great country, this beautiful city, beautiful country. I live in Austin, Texas. And there is a saying in Texas that we have that's usually applied against barbecue. And that saying is, your appetite is bigger than your belly. In other words, you look at all this incredible barbecue and you say, I'd like to eat the whole thing, but your appetite is only so big. We have found at IBM that that same principle applies against information security today. Most organizations that we're working with right now have an appetite to consume things for security that's far greater than their ability to actually do it. As he said, I've spent the last 21 years of my 26 years with IBM helping to build our cybersecurity business from almost nothing in the 1990s, outside of the mainframe, where we've always been very strong in security. And I was one of the leaders that made a decision in 1998 that led us to start investing quite intensively into information security. And in the last 16 years, we have acquired 26 cybersecurity companies, including a number of Israeli companies. We acquired Watchfire about 8 years ago, Guardium, Trusteer just 2 years ago. So we continue, as you'll see at the end here, we have a huge investment here in this country in both talent and technology. What I want to give you is our perspective on what is really driving the information security business going forward right now. I chose a sort of an intriguing, sort of dirty little secrets theme behind this, because in fact that's exactly what's going on. So through these 26 acquisitions, we have gone at IBM from being a no-op in the security industry, really, to being the third largest provider in the world, Symantec, McAfee, and us, and we are by far the fastest growing information security vendor, large one, and according to the Gartner report that just came out 2 weeks ago. Now, our perspective, now that we've gotten so large in this industry, is that we have a lot of insights. We have over 12,000 clients today. And one of the things that we're learning are what these dirty little secrets are. Now, let me give you some personal background on why this is meaningful to me. Is along with a degree in computer science, I have a graduate degree in group psychology. And in group psychology, one of the most basic things you discover is that every group has what's called a shadow. And a shadow in a group is the things that the group doesn't want to deal with, it doesn't want to admit are there. Do you think it's any different in information technology inside of our shops today? I would assert to you the biggest problem we see in information security today is that every organization has walls that they refuse to look around the corner of. Because they know that when they look, they're politically, financially, or both not going to be able to do anything about what they see. So as a result, what they do is they just don't look. And so it's very interesting. The intersection of group psychology with security, I think, is what's kept me on this stuff for 2 decades. Because it's fascinating. Now, what I'm going to take you through here are what are the 4 conversations that we see driving information security going forward And what are the dirty little secrets? Because by the way, there's at least one for each one of those. What are the dirty little secrets that we either don't want to see or we just not looking? So, first, before that, a couple statistics. The top one is one of my favorite ones. We did a survey of a bunch of clients and found that 70% of security execs have cloud and mobile concerns. And my question to you is, the other 30% must have been sleeping. I don't know how that's only 70%. One of my favorite client meetings, by the way, I just hit 8.5 million air miles with American Airlines. All right? And I didn't fly American until I moved to Texas 18 years ago. So I am around the world every day meeting with clients on this topic. And one of my favorite meetings of the last year was a very large financial services company that came to us at IBM and said, hey, we're behind on cloud. Our business is holding up major cloud initiatives because they're worried about security and they want to make sure we do it right. So you guys at IBM, we heard you have a lot of cloud security stuff, which of course we do. We have over 1,000 clients doing secure cloud stuff with us today. They said, would you come in and run a full-day workshop for us on cloud security? We said, sure. At the beginning of the day, the CISO and I get in front of the room. It's a room like this, a little bit smaller, about 30 people. And the CISO says to his team, we're behind on cloud, we know it, but we're behind for the right reasons. Because we want to do security right. And every head in the room is going, yeah, boss, not doing cloud, not doing cloud. We spent 7 hours with them going through very detailed cloud security use cases. At the end of the day, everybody goes, oh, that was wonderful. CISO walks out of the room. And not 20 seconds later, the lead security architect calls me over. He was sitting basically right where you are. And he says, Bob, let me tell you what's really going on. This is after 7 hours, right? You're kind of tired and all that. And I said, okay, what's going on? He says, I didn't want to say anything, right? Because my boss thinks that nothing's going on with the cloud. He says, we just did a little bit of analysis. He says, I'm not kidding. About 50% of our employees are using Dropbox to share confidential files right now, right? He says, we're doing cloud, right? It's just that the team doesn't choose to acknowledge that we're doing cloud because they're not looking, right? It's one of those examples. It's like, are we doing it or are we not? So that one is great because if you don't have cloud, and mobile concerns today, you're probably not breathing. This 85-45 is fun. How many? I mean, look, anyone who's been doing cyber for more than 10 years, right? Cyber was always buy the best of breed product in each little niche. And now we're in this state that everybody's got dozens, if not more, of products from lots and lots of vendors, right? This one is a retailer, 85 products from 45 vendors. I'm personally working with an insurance company. They're paying maintenance right now on 288 security tools from 65 vendors, right? It's insane. So we've gone, now part of the issue is that I and a few of my peers out there, we're all buying up a lot of the security companies, right? A lot of best-of-breed companies. But getting from that, how do you manage that? You don't. And then finally, it's the skills problem. You've already heard all about that. All right, so let's talk about what these 4 conversations are that we believe are driving the information security business forward right now. First of all is optimizing the program, and I know that sounds like a nice generic thing. What do I mean by that? Optimizing a security program is driving a security program that is truly based on risk instead of compliance. Now, some of you, that might be cliche-ish to hear that. I would assert to you, one of the dirty little secrets in our industry is that most cyber shops today are a compliance-based program. I'll give you a litmus test. SIEM, Security Information Event Management, SIEM. Every client I walk into, do you have a SIEM? Almost everyone. Yeah, sometimes we got a couple of them. We're trying to rationalize them. Been investing for years in it. Do you make any real-time decisions every day using that SIEM? And in at least 9 out of 10 cases, the response is a smile, a sort of a, not really, right? So SIEM is a great litmus test of whether you have a risk-based security program or a compliance-based program. If you put it in because you had to have one and it's a pretty Christmas tree-like thing, great. But are you using it to make decisions about how you operate your business? We have an energy company today that gets literally 2 billion security events a day coming into their SIEM. They've tuned it, it took them 9 months to do so. They've tuned it to the point that it kicks out on average 25 a day that they take action on each of those, on average 25 a day. 2 billion to 25 is actionable intelligence. 2 billion to a Christmas tree that you don't do anything with is literally a compliance check. So the first thing driving it is going from compliance-based to risk-based, because everything you've heard from the other speakers this morning is if you're just doing compliance-based, you can throw stuff in, but it's not providing any utility other than getting you through the next audit, and that is not cybersecurity. That's managing for job security. Second one, stopping advanced threats. Welcome to the current holder of the Magic Bullet Club. One of the things I love about information security is that there is a subset of decision makers in information security that take a magic bullet approach to security, in part because they struggle to get the business to invest in cyber. And so what they do is say, oh, all we need is this tool and our problems are finished. If you just give me budget for this tool, I promise you that's going to be great. 17 years ago, the magic bullet in cyber was PKI. Remember, buy digital certs and all your problems go away? That was 1998, 1999. 3 years ago was DLP. Put in DLP and my gosh, all your data security problems go away. Right now, what is it? Any guesses? Sandboxing. Okay? Oh, you got malware problems? Put in the sandbox. You're all taken care of, as you kind of heard, right? That's silly. It's important, it's very useful, but it is an incomplete solution, and everyone paying attention knows that. So what we've realized with stopping advanced threats is you can't do it by finding a magic bullet. It is all about intelligence and analytics. It is about taking data, actionable data, from every layer of the stack. If you're a COVID fan, infrastructure, application, data, right, and people, and the users. And taking information from all of those places and making functional analytics and actionable decisions based on that. So stopping advanced threats is actually based on high-quality intelligence and analytics, not finding whatever mousetrap happens to be a better one right now or most trendy. The third one, protecting critical assets. This is probably my favorite one. In 21 years of doing this, I've had one client claim that they know where all of their sensitive business data is, if you include unstructured forms, like spreadsheets and word processing documents. I've had no one else claim. Think about it. We all as cyber professionals are supposed to help our businesses, help our agencies, whatever you're part of. We all are supposed to have established controls over access to our sensitive business data. That's one of the most basic tenets of what cyber is responsible for. But how can you philosophically assert that you've got proper controls over securing access to your sensitive business data if you don't know where all of it is? And yet, no one knows where all of it is. I've had one client in 21 years assert to me. He was an electronics manufacturing company in the United States. And as the CISO told me about it, I was blown away. It was 3 years ago. And I said, I'm telling you, man, I've never seen this before. I'm so impressed. It sounds good. Would you explain in detail how you did this? Because I'm going to write a paper with you, and we're going to make billions, right, off of this. Just billions in at least goodwill. And as he described to me how he did it, he took all their sensitive data, and he declassified 98% of it. So it was just this one little set of data he said was sensitive business data, and you and I could have protected that too, right? No finance data, that's not sensitive business data, right? So, by the way, that's a problem we have as professionals. We don't know where all the sensitive business data is. And you and I both know it's still a moving target, especially on the unstructured data side. But protecting the critical assets, especially the data, is clearly going to be driving our industry for a while to come. A subset or an extension of this thought around protecting critical assets is around a secure app dev process, because a lot of the access to that data is through applications. So do you have a secure app dev process in your business? There's another litmus test. Just like SIM is a litmus test for do you have a risk-based or compliance-based security program, the litmus test for secure app dev is static source code analysis. Do you have a project in place, or at least in the works, for static source code analysis? That's a good sign that the wall that usually exists between cyber and the app dev teams, right? Never the twain shall meet. You can tell if you've broken down that wall appropriately if there's some static analysis stuff going on. If there's not, or you sort of talk about it, or you're even afraid to talk about it, it means you got a long way to go with this, right? So that's the third one that's driving this industry. And the fourth one, obviously, safeguarding cloud and mobile. I already gave you, we talk about public-private hybrid cloud. We assert there's a fourth type of cloud that I mentioned earlier, and it's the covert cloud. It's the cloud you're doing that you don't even either know about or that you choose not to be aware of, right? There's a difference, but they both have the same effect. But there's another thing around cloud and mobile, especially mobility, that we're seeing with a lot of our clients right now that is incredibly important. Mobility is giving us an opportunity for the first time to take IT ops, cybersecurity, and the business to sit together and figure out how to run the business better, faster, cheaper, more innovatively, etc. So whereas it's very important that we acknowledge what are we really doing in the cloud and protect it commensurately, also take advantage of the opportunity you have to take cyber from being those security people to literally being able to reshape the way the business is operating. For example, we have an insurance company that wanted to change what they were doing with their field agents, and they couldn't do it without cyber. And so cyber and IT ops and the business came together with, we have design centers around the world that will sit down with the client and do that stuff. And it's actually very cool. So those are the four things I'd assert to you are driving. Do you have a risk-based or compliance-based program? Do you have proper intelligence and analytics across the board in place versus magic bullet? Are you protecting the critical data so you know where it is and actually taking actions to protect it, and have a secure app dev process? And then finally, of course, safeguard cloud and mobile. Look, we've got over 1,000 clients doing secure cloud right now, and I can tell you the first 5 things everybody does for cloud, and this is 99% of the organizations, right? It's federation, fine-grained entitlements, multi-factor authentication, risk-based authentication, and a one-time password. Those are the 5 things. You may do in different orders. Federation is always first. But those end up being the 5 things you do. And so we have a lot of insight here. So the final thing I want to show you is that I've already said, look, we've gone from being kind of a, what? IBM's really cyber and stuff. We've gotten to the point now that we're no longer a seeker. We're literally the fastest growing and largest out there. We've got centers all over the world. Those are research centers, SOC centers, and in particular, we have a huge investment, and we'll continue to have a huge investment here in Israel, because y'all clearly are one of the centers, if not the center, of cybersecurity talent in the world. We take that very seriously for our business. So not only have we acquired Watchfire, Guardian, Worklight, Trusteer, and these other companies, but we also recently opened a cyber center of excellence nearby that is also working on some great kind of new research stuff. I'll just give you one taste and then close. One of the research projects that our researchers have figured out how to do, that you'll see from us fairly soon, is we figured out how to map how you move your mouse on your screen. So like if you give your machine to someone, or if someone takes your machine and starts messing with it, we can tell it's not you, right? And the next step is how you move your finger on these. Right? So we have research all over the place, and a lot of it's being done right here in Israel. So bottom line is we think we know what's driving this industry. We've acquired 26 companies. We continue to grow. We're actually, we're literally outgrowing the market rate around 3x right now. And we think now with over 12,000 clients that we're doing cyber with, we have a lot of confidence that in working with a lot of you, all over the board, is that we think we can advance the state of the art of what's going in cyber. And I thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you.